once you have a sense of how many calories you need, you can start to think about, well, where should the source of calories come from? I wish I could give you a simple answer to this question, but honestly, it depends on your preferences, what your gut handles, what you like, what seems simpler versus more complicated. So whether or not you do real foods versus sports engineered foods, whether or not you do liquids versus more solids, really depends upon what works for you. How do you know what works for you? You have to go out in training and practice. Every long ride, in fact, ideally every effort over about 60 to 90 minutes, you should be practicing your race nutrition. This is partly to help train your gut to learn how to process those calories, but it's also partly for you to get a sense of what works. And each time you do a workout, you should take note of how many calories you took in per hour, take note of your hydration per hour, take note of your electrolytes, and then also take note of how you felt, right? And this is going to give you over time a log of what's working and what isn't working for you. If you have specific questions about what kinds of solids, what kinds of more real foods that you can use, we're happy to field those as well. But some options that you can consider for more liquid calories are concentrated bottles. More solid calories, you can consider gels, you can consider bars, shot blocks, those sorts of things. Some athletes also use real foods, but just keep in mind that with real foods, intensity and also portability are key factors. So if you're going to use more solid real foods, you also want to think about how are you going to port them, and is your intensity at a level such that you'll be able to digest them properly. So the more intense the race, the harder it will be to process real foods, depending upon what it is you're eating. The longer the race, it also becomes a portability issue. How are you going to carry around several sandwiches or several rice balls or whatever the case may be? The best way to think about this is to practice, right? Go out and try some things, experiment, figure out what's working, take note of what you liked, what you didn't like, and as you get closer and closer to your race day, you start to create a nutrition plan that works for you both in terms of what your gut can handle, what's portable, what's sustainable, and what helps you race to your best. Thanks. If you have any questions, please feel free to note them in the comments or email me, Maria@NoLimitsEndurance.com.